Julius Randle and his future with the Knicks has been one of the hottest topics over the last few days. This has been the case ever since Shams with The Athletic reported that teams around the league are monitoring Julius Randle and his situation in New York. And the Knicks definitely heard these reports and they've responded. A number of NBA insiders are now giving updates about Randle and his future with the Knicks. We're going to break down these latest reports and so much more today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. And make sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. We have a major update on Julius Randle and his future with the Knicks. This has been the main topic of discussion over the last few days. Everybody wants to know what's going to happen with Julius Randle this offseason because the consistent report with the Knicks that's out there is that this offseason, Leon Rose and this Knicks front office will go out there and try to trade for a superstar. If they do that, they're going to need the picks and the players in order to make that trade work. And a lot of those trades have Bojan Bogdanovic and Julius Randle in them. Now, obviously, after Shams gives us this report that many teams are monitoring Julius Randle and his situation in New York, you know the Knicks are going to hear about it. And once the Knicks heard about it, they were going to give a response. And that's exactly what they did. Shout out to Fred Katz of The Athletic for giving us the following report about the Knicks and what they're going to do with Julius Randle in the future. According to him, the New York Knicks are set up for an important summer. They have some key roster decisions, including extensions and re-signings. One thing that doesn't appear to be on the priority list is trading Julius Randle. The Knicks are not actively shopping Randle. New York understands that adding a star player this summer may mean having to trade Randle. However, the Knicks aren't taking a must-trade approach to their star forward status. Randle is eligible for an extension in early August. New York isn't likely to pursue an extension because that would come with a months-long trade restriction. The Knicks are prioritizing flexibility with trades as well as under the tax aprons this offseason and into next season. Shout out to Fred Katz from The Athletic for giving us the following update about Randle and his future in New York. As I expected, the Knicks are likely not going to trade Julius Randle this offseason. And there really is no point in trading Randle. His value is down because he is injured, number one. Number two, he didn't play in the postseason. And when you don't play in the postseason, your value's automatically down because of that as well. Let's not also forget that if you're looking to trade Julius Randle, the only trade that makes sense for Randle is getting back a superstar player in return. If you're getting back a star or an all-star and a couple of role players, that will be a failure of a trade for a player like Julius Randle because he's proven over the course of his Knicks tenure that not only is he an all-star, but if you're looking to trade him, you have to get back the numbers you're giving up. And Randle's numbers are superstar-like. That's why you have to treat him like that, and you have to make sure if you trade him, you have to get a player like that in return. If you don't, Leon Rose and this front office will likely get a letter F for that deal because not getting back a superstar for Randle is an absolute failure. If you look at the market of players that are likely going to be available this offseason, none of them make sense to trade Randle for. You need to trade Randle for a superstar. So you might be asking yourself, who would the Knicks trade Randle for? Well, thanks to the New York Post Steph Bondy, we actually have that information as well, too. According to Bondy, he states, if Giannis Antetokounmpo demands out of Milwaukee, sure, throw Randle, the kitchen sink, every draft pick, basically everything at that negotiation. If it's Devin Booker, you're going to remove one of those things. Maybe it's Randle. Maybe it's the kitchen sink. Maybe it's not every draft pick. Maybe it's most draft picks. But either way, you're getting the point here. There are only going to be a handful of players that the Knicks would trade Randle for. And it seems that list is Giannis or Devin Booker. And even with Booker, it's not a guarantee that they would trade Randle in that deal. I don't know how they would pull it off, but it seems like prioritizing that core of Randle, Brunson, and OG seemed to be a priority for Leon Rose and this Knicks front office. As long as Giannis or a player to his level doesn't become available, then Julius Randle is safe. He is not going to be traded, and he is going to be a Knick headed into next season. Whether you love that or you hate that, I'm just telling you what the facts are. And it's okay to be happy for Randle being part of this team because we all know When healthy, this Knicks team is near unstoppable. You have Randle, you have OG, you have Jalen Brunson, Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, Hart, Mitchell Robinson, Deuce McBride. So many key players on this team. Bojan Bogdanovic. You have so many key guys that can help this Knicks team get better next season. And if they have a full training camp underneath their belt and they build up more chemistry together as a team, going into the postseason next year, they are going to be one of the hardest outs of any postseason team, even worse than they were this year. Nobody wanted to see the Knicks over a 7-game series this year, and we were hobbled. Could you imagine if we were fully healthy? That would be a very scary team for many other teams in the NBA to go up against. And that would be something I would be so happy to watch. Next season, we're going to get that. I can only hope that Leon Rose and this Knicks front office add some more players to this team that can help us get even better come next season. That means getting us a better bench and getting us a star that can help complement Jalen, Julius, and OG. Not take away from that or take away from what we're building. Remember, if you bring somebody in here that's ball dominant and takes away the ball from Jalen Brunson or Julius Randle, will those two still be as effective without the ball in their hands? That's what we're going to have to think about before we add a new player, let alone a star to this team. Fit is going to make all of the difference here. It has to be a fit for Tom Thibodeau, this team, and the players we have on it today, and potentially who we're going to have on it in the future. If it doesn't make sense, then the Knicks shouldn't do it. That's why you'll notice some players that the Knicks had interest in last year, headed into this offseason, they may not have that same level of interest because now they see their Knicks team, what they've done hobbled, get the second seed, go all the way to the Eastern Conference semifinals against the Pacers, going to a Game 7 in the Garden. Everybody knows when healthy, we would have been in the Eastern Conference Finals against Boston right now. Knowing all of that and you're Leon Rose, it's going to make you change the way you approach the offseason and the players you add to this team. And that's going to be key here. That's what I'm waiting to see what Leon Rose does, because we have all of the players, all of the picks, all of the contracts to legitimately get any other star player we want to add to this roster. The only question is who's going to be available, what the cost is going to be, and if Leon Rose is going to want to do business at that price point. We already know Leon Rose, if the price is too high, he's going to bow out, he's going to walk away, and he's going to try to find another deal. So price here is going to mean everything when it comes to Leon Rose. And when it comes to a certain player, I think there are players that Leon Rose will throw everything out there for. We already heard two of them. Giannis is one of them, and I do believe Devin Booker is one of them as well, too. I do not think Donovan Mitchell is that type of player anymore. I don't know about Mikal Bridges. That's a question mark. I don't think that Leon Rose would throw everything to get Mikal Bridges, but I think he would throw a lot. I don't think he would give up Randle, OG, Jalen Brunson, or any of those core players. But draft picks, I think he would give up a lot of them, as well as some of these other role players that we have on this team to try to get Mikal Bridges from Brooklyn, because I think he understands Jalen, Dante, Josh Hart, Mikal, and if you get to keep Randle and OG, all of that on this team, that's unstoppable, folks. That's NBA Finals contender, folks. And if you keep that core together, you draft right, you build right, and you add the right pieces to this team, you're talking about an NBA Finals contender each and every year for as long as that core stays healthy, active, and on top of their game. And we're talking about Randle, physical specimen, OG Anunoby, game changer, Jalen Brunson, work ethic almost second to none, Mikal Bridges, Iron Man. Imagine having all of those guys on the same team under head coach Tom Thibodeau. It could happen. And for those telling me that it can't, I didn't think OG Anunoby, our wing of the future, would be a Knick right now. I didn't think we'd be talking about re-signing OG Anunoby right now. But that's where we are. All thanks to Leon Rose. And it didn't matter that we were suing the Raptors. It doesn't matter at all because business is business. Leon Rose helped the Raptors see that. You're telling me he can't help the Nets see that too? Where there's a will, there's a way, and I trust Leon Rose to find it. At this point, I'm going to be patient. I'm trusting this Knicks front office, and I'm going to watch what they do. But one thing I can absolutely assure you of, Julius Randle will not be traded by the Knicks. He will be headed into next season as a Knick. And the sooner you make peace with that, the better off you'll be. I promise you that. Julius Randle being a Knick headed into next season gives me a lot of hope because I believe when healthy, this Knicks team can go all the way to the finals. And having Randle on this team is a huge part of that. Without him, I don't know who else can fill his shoes and give the Knicks that level of success, especially under head coach Tom Thibodeau. Remember, fit means everything. And as of right now, Tom Thibodeau and Julius Randle are a perfect fit. And I don't see that changing moving forward in the future. But what about you guys? What do you think about these latest reports indicating that the Knicks are not actively shopping Julius Randle on the trade market? Let me know in the comments below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans. Peace.